Hello, my dear students. You're welcome to Danny's Classroom. Today, we are going to be looking at algebra as an aspect in mathematics. Algebra is a very important topic in mathematics that you should care to know because, you know, much of the things that you'll be learning in algebra has some of its applications, especially when it comes to solving, when it comes to calculation, in physics, in chemistry. It has some application the same way that indices and logarithm has application also, and the same way that calculus have application in some of these sciences. There are some basic mathematical operations that you should understand because in higher things like sciences and whatever, you need to apply it there while solving some things. So the same is algebra. So first of all, we are going to look at what algebra is all about, right? We are going to first look at what algebra is all about. Then the next thing that we'll be looking at is we'll be looking at concepts like coefficient, terms in algebra. Then we differentiate between algebraic expression and algebraic equation. Then we look at types of algebraic expressions, and from there we move to algebraic processes, which is going to take a whole lot of time for us to break it down. Now let's start with definition of algebra. When you hear algebra, just know that algebra has to do with, it's an aspect of mathematics that deals with, is an aspect of mathematics that deals with numbers and letters. Numbers and letters. Okay? Or you can say they can as well deal with letters only. Then when you are talking about letter, you are talking about alphabetical letters, either English alphabet or Greek alphabet or any other alphabet at all. But in this your level, we'll be looking at a situation whereby English alphabetical letters are always involved, right? Okay, for example, let's say for example that you are giving something like this: 3x plus 2. 3x plus 2. This is an algebra. Why? There is the presence of alphabetical letter here. Do you understand? Okay. Also, let's say you see something like 2x raised to power 2 plus 3x minus 5. This is an algebra. Why? There is a presence of letter here. There's a presence of letter, alphabetical letter here. Okay? So these are what makes something an algebra. An algebra. Okay? Then let's look at other examples. Let me say you have something like 4m plus 2n minus 6 is equal to 8y. Okay, so when you see something like this, it's also an algebra. Why? You are seeing the presence of letter there. And remember my definition, I said that it can also deal with letters only. For example, let me say that you have x plus y is equal to z. This is what? This is an algebra. Do you understand? Okay. There are certain times that you may not really see English alphabet. You might see things like Greek alphabet. Greek alphabet includes things like alpha, beta, gamma. This is gamma, not y. Gamma, phi, gamma rho, psi. You have the one, this is psi, this is phi, and so on and so forth. This is omega. So many of them. This is theta, right? Okay. Now sometimes you might be seeing things like, okay, let me say in angles, something that has to do with angles. You see things like 2 theta plus 3 is equal to 5 theta, right? Okay. This thing is also a kind of algebra. right? Even though it's not English alphabet, the kind of alphabet they presented here is a Greek alphabet. Do you understand? Okay, so let's move over to the next thing. The next thing we are going to look at is what? We are going to look at coefficient. We are going to look at coefficient. Then after that, we'll be looking at terms, what terms are all about. Then we differentiate between algebraic expression and algebraic equation. Proper understanding of this will give you clarity whenever you are given a question to know how to solve it, to know how to come about it, to even understand what you are given, to give you that basic understanding. Okay, and as I say, basic understanding in things gives you that it gives you that clarity. It helps you build for what is up there. It makes you build for the advanced things. If you get the basic understanding of indices, you know that okay, there are ways, there are places, there are subjects, there are advanced sciences that you are going to apply it there, so that when you encounter them, nobody will start taking you back again. Okay, do these basics, do that basics, because you already have the perfect understanding of that, right? Okay, then the next thing we're going to be looking at is what? Types of algebraic expression. As I've said before, when you talk about algebraic expression, there are types of them, right? Types of algebraic expressions. Then we move into algebraic processes, things like expansion. When you expansion, how is it being done? And we also look at factorization. When you have factorization, how is it being done? Right? And there are basic laws, properties that you should know here. Basic properties, things like distributive properties over this algebra. How is it being done? Distributive properties, associative properties, or associative law. When you say something is associative, something is distributive, right? What does it mean? So we are going to be looking at all those things here. So let's start with coefficient. I'll not make this video very long. Okay, see you guys in the next video. See you guys in the next video.